All right. So I wanted to bring this up because I saw this on X. RJ's tweeting this out. Let me read this first and I'll tell you that why I really don't want this to happen. Many insiders believe Kevin Feige is the best candidate to become the new boss at Lucasfilm. One source says Disney's top choice is Dave Filoni, but another disagrees. He will be killed by all sides via THR, hashtag Star Wars. I do criticize Feige. Don't listen to Bruce. MCU is having some issues right now. He deserves the opportunity to course correct. It's not in a good place to leave right now. MCU. It needs some good hits. The Avengers needs to get back on track. You need to form the Avengers again. We've had too many years where it's just like, who's the Avengers or whatever. Get it back on track. Unfortunately, some projects that I wanted to see too, put them on pause, just like they're doing for Star Wars in DC. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The person I was talking about is Alan Horn. Where is Alan Horn? He's in the back pulling strings, collecting a paycheck. And I think that's what Kathleen Kennedy will be doing at Lucasfilm if she steps down.
What I've long said I don't think the REY movie is going to be a REY movie. They're just at this point, if it gets traction, they're going to just say 10, 11, and 12. I think they're just going to say, oh, we're doing this next trilogy because they're like, what if we do a trilogy and we have a numbered movie, then we're going to make $1 billion again.
Don't force a trilogy.
But if they actually get REY go back on track, I think, and if Kathy steps down, they'll say, okay, we're getting this person to take over as president. Kathy's going to stay on to produce. The REY movie is now episode 10. I really think that. I'm just thinking about how Hollywood works. There's much more money to be put on as the first movie in a new trilogy than the REY movie.
But
there's so much more money.
But I don't think in order to get stuff back on track, I don't know if it's a good idea for us to once again put focus on REY so soon and have this be the new 10, 11, and 12. I think the REY movie should be its own thing. Honestly, we shouldn't even be doing numerical films this soon either. Like, we should get away from that formula. We've been doing that so many times. Like, tell just different type of stories in the Star Wars universe. That's what I think they should be doing right now to like make it fresh, tell different stories. You don't have to stick to that same.
Saying that not every movie needs to connect and be part of some grander trilogy or whatever story. You can have different movies in the same universe telling different stories. That's what you're saying, DL?
For Star Wars, absolutely. Star Wars, they don't need to follow the same formula as Marvel. They don't. And like I'm actually one of the people that actually do really like REY, but I think
I like them too.
Yeah, but I think with this movie, I don't think it's in a good place script wise. I don't think it's in a good place like just timing wise. They need to take more time to, if they're going to make this REY movie, they need to take time to make sure that it's good. Because another mediocre REY film that's not gonna help anything.
Well, I want to go on the record.
I believe Mac. Let me just respond to DL about taking their time. Daisy really said that what she's read about the upcoming project is good, and she believes that the fans deserve a good story, so they're taking their time with it. They're not rushing it. So when it's finally released, it will be a good project.
Okay, so, well, I want to go on the record as an official Max prediction. That too, if you want, I don't care. That if the REY movie moves forward, that it's just going to be episode 10. I would bet on it. I would bet on it. The way I've been following the industry, there's so much more money to be made. At this point, they're looking at the last big success they had, even though the trajectory went way down from Force Awakens to The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, it still made $1 billion, but it was significantly less than the first movie. And the industry.
Isn't it historically accurate that most sequels always do less than
a little bit
original?
less. A little bit less. I think it was like 45% decrease from the first to the third.
That's not every case that like a sequel does less than the original. If it's a better film, a lot of times you end up seeing an upward trajectory.
But the other thing also, the audience and the industry loses their minds over anything over under $1 billion for these big IP movies is a failure in some eyes. And even though The Rise of Skywalker still made $1 billion, that's where they're going to get stuck on. They're like, oh, the last $1 billion movie we had in this IP or $1 billion was Rise of Skywalker. I think they're totally going to go into 10, 11, and 12.
I think they need to go in a completely different direction. They need to. I've been saying this so many times, and I'm sure other people have said numerous times. They need to make a significant time skip away from the Skywalker saga or significant time backwards from the Skywalker saga. We need to get away from the Skywalker saga and focus on new characters.
They tried to do that with the Acolyte. Oh, hello.
Hey.
But I'll say about the Kevin Feige thing, I don't think he should be running Lucasfilm either. Because Marvel is not in a great state right now. So he needs to focus on that and make sure gets back on track. I know he's a big Star Wars fan, but I think that'll be too much on his shoulders to focus on, to have Marvel and Star Wars to worry about. So I think what they should do is I think they need to follow a similar approach as what James Gunn and Peter Safran are doing at DC. You need to have someone who's the head of creative and someone who could be the head of business,
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that we've heard of before, just someone that's actually has experience with running a studio and knowing how to run things on a business standpoint, and probably have someone that's like a head of creative and actually having a direction for the Star Wars franchise, like where they want to go as far as creatively. There should be a team up like that. Originally, people thought that could be Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, but I don't think Jon Favreau wants to have that responsibility, being the head of a studio, because he's also a creative as well.
And if they make Filoni president, it will be hate from all sides.
Yeah, I don't think, and it's Filoni is not a studio person.
I
either.
like Filoni, but there's a lot of haters of him too. I want to respond.
Filoni.
Yes,
Filoni needs to stick to animation.
No,
he needs to leave live action, stick to animation.
I love the Ahsoka, but I want to respond to Joe that you're part of the problem. Joe, you have gone on the record that said BVS is a failure. It almost made 900 million worldwide. You do the same kind of thing about it's not a success. BVS was not a success.